We go back together in time, 40 years ago, when most American families still gathered around the one TV set in their homes to watch together. And sharing our daily life, the innocent adventurers on Happy Days.
Happy Days is often remembered as the quintessential feel-good show of the 1970s and 1980s.
Oh, hi, Fonzie. Oh, look what some jerk left on the radiator. Boy, oh boy, there's sure some dodos around here.
But beneath its nostalgic surface lie secrets that shocked even the most devoted fans. Did you know that some of the most iconic moments and characters almost never happened? What hidden conflicts and unexpected twists shaped the beloved series behind the scenes? This story unfolds far beyond what aired on television, revealing controversies, casting mysteries, and surprising production decisions that challenged the show's wholesome image. Prepare to discover the untold truths about Happy Days that producers have only recently dared to share. Details that change everything you thought you knew about this classic TV phenomenon. The birth of Happy Days. In the early 1970s, American television audiences were ready for a nostalgic escape, and that's exactly what Happy Days offered. Created by Gary Marshall, the show was inspired by his own childhood and set in the nostalgic era of the 1950s, a time often idealized in popular culture. But what many don't realize is that Happy Days nearly never aired. The pilot episode, originally titled New Family in Town, aired as a segment on an anthology series before it was picked up by ABC. The network was cautious about the show's potential, uncomfortable with the focus on simpler times amid a decade of social upheaval. Early production faced skepticism. Unlike many shows of the era that tackled contemporary social issues, Happy Days intentionally stepped away from controversy, focusing instead on family values, friendship, and teenage life. This conservative tone made some executives wary about whether a younger generation could connect with the 1950s setting. Moreover, the initial episodes received modest ratings, leading producers to experiment with casting and storylines to capture a wider audience. Despite these hurdles, the show captured viewers' hearts by tapping into a collective longing for innocence and stability. The Wiltons, the central family, became a symbol of idealized middle-class America. The producers worked painstakingly to get the details right. Classic cars, jukebox music, and period-accurate clothing added authenticity. The sets reflected a pastel-colored vision of suburban life, creating a warmth that invited nostalgia without alienation. Interestingly, some of the early scripts struggled to find a voice. The writers aimed to balance humor with wholesome storytelling, but sometimes the dialogue appeared overly saccharine or unrealistic. It wasn't until deeper character development began, particularly around Richie Cunningham and his circle of friends, that the show found its footing. The producers started to understand that the series' success depended on relatable situations, even within a nostalgic framework. The show's rise was not instantaneous, but gradual word-of-mouth and increasing viewer loyalty helped it climb the Nielsen ratings, eventually becoming a flagship series for ABC. In retrospect, the initial struggles added depth to the production team's resolve to create something timeless rather than trendy. Despite early doubts, Happy Days grew into a cultural phenomenon, becoming a touchstone for viewers both young and old. The producers' initial vision clashed with the network's commercial concerns, yet both sides saw potential. To keep the show fresh, they embraced subtle changes and shifts in tone. This adaptability ultimately secured the series' longevity and paved the way for future success in spin-offs and merchandise. Without this early period of uncertainty, Happy Days might never have achieved its iconic status. Behind the scenes, those first seasons were marked by trial and error. Actors were still developing their characters, and story arcs were fluid. Producers kept a close eye on audience reactions, tweaking elements to align with viewers' preferences. This willingness to evolve was crucial in turning a modest family sitcom into an enduring classic. As the show found its rhythm, a cast of unforgettable characters began to emerge. Characters whose development would soon bring both unexpected opportunities and challenges. Changes in casting and character dynamics soon became pivotal to Happy Days' lasting impact. Casting surprises and changes. The casting of Happy Days played a monumental role in shaping its unique charm, but the process was far from smooth. For instance, Henry Winkler was originally cast in a minor role named Arthur Fonzie Fonzarelli. Expected to appear in just a few episodes, the producers never anticipated that Fonzie's cool, rebel persona would become the breakout star of the series, eclipsing many of the original main characters. This unexpected popularity forced writers and producers to expand Fonzie's role significantly. Before Henry Winkler's iconic portrayal, the show had considered other actors who might fill the role differently. Winkler's casual charisma and effortless coolness rewrote the character's identity. Production quickly realized that Fonzie's appeal lay in his complexity, a tough exterior hiding a deeply loyal and kind-hearted personality. This layered characterization was unlike many TV stereotypes of the time. Casting decisions extended beyond Fonzie and shaped the entire ensemble. Ron Howard, as Richie Cunningham, was initially the clear lead, but as the show evolved, ensemble chemistry became a key factor. Some actors, such as Anson Williams and Marion Ross, remained steady presences, while others faced eventual replacement. For example, the character of Joni Cunningham saw different approaches to her age and personality before settling into a beloved role. The series also brought in new characters mid-run to compensate for changes and keep stories fresh. One surprising addition was Scott Baio, who joined as Chachi Arcola, Fonzie's cousin and Joni's love interest. His arrival brought a younger energy and sparked new plot lines that revitalized the later seasons. These casting shifts often reflected broader network strategies to appeal to evolving audiences. More quietly, some original actors left the show early on due to contract disputes or creative differences. These departures sometimes required sudden rewrites or character removals, which producers managed delicately to maintain continuity. Behind the friendly set smiles, tensions occasionally simmered over roles and screen time, revealing the challenges of managing a high-profile ensemble cast. Producers also faced the challenge of balancing authentic 1950s depictions with contemporaneous television tastes. Casting included actors who could capture the era's spirit without seeming outdated or irrelevant to 1970s viewers. This delicate balancing act was key to making the show resonate across generations. Casting is often an unpredictable process, and for Happy Days, several near misses almost changed TV history entirely. The show's unique mixing of talent and timing proved essential for its success, proving that sometimes the best moments come from unexpected decisions. The complex relationships on set, however, were not without their difficulties, as behind-the-scenes conflicts quietly shaped the show's trajectory. Behind-the-scenes conflicts. Despite the on-screen warmth that Happy Days projected, production was not free from tension and conflict. One of the most well-documented disputes involved Erin Moran, who played Joni Cunningham. Reports suggest that disagreements over contracts and roles strained her relationships with producers and cast members, affecting her later involvement in the show. Such disputes highlighted the challenges producers faced in balancing contracts with the cast's evolving expectations. Another major source of behind-the-scenes drama centered around Henry Winkler. While beloved by audiences, Winkler reportedly faced frustrations over typecasting and limited input into his character's trajectory early on. His rise to fame as Fonzie brought new pressures, causing occasional clashes with writers and producers intent on steering the show's direction. Winkler's growing stardom shifted the power dynamics on set, sometimes creating tension with other cast members. On the creative side, Gary Marshall and his team often found themselves negotiating between network demands and the cast's desires. Writers had to juggle maintaining the show's wholesome reputation while pushing the boundaries enough to stay relevant. These competing priorities occasionally led to disagreements during script development, with some actors feeling sidelined or underutilized. The camaraderie often portrayed publicly sometimes masked the strain of working long hours under tight production schedules. Exhaustion and the pressures of filming multiple seasons a year contributed to occasional disagreements over roles, scripts, and screen time. These tensions were compounded by the intense spotlight the show received as it gained popularity. Management of the cast's personalities also posed a challenge. While most actors got along, cliques and rivalries existed. For example, some actors reportedly felt overshadowed by Fonzie's popularity, leading to quiet resentments. Producers had to act carefully to maintain morale and keep the ensemble functioning creatively on set. Behind the scenes, the struggle for creative control sometimes pitted the producers against network executives. Negotiations over storylines, character development, and the overall tone of the show could delay or alter episodes. These power struggles influenced how much the show could experiment versus sticking to a proven formula. Despite the friction, most involved shared a strong commitment to the project, often setting aside differences for the good of the show. This collective determination helped Happy Days remain a top-rated series for years. Still, the ghosts of these conflicts lingered, occasionally surfacing in later interviews and memoirs. Ultimately, these hidden dramas remind us that television is a blend of art and business, where behind every beloved character lies a complex human story. The resilience of the cast and crew made Happy Days an enduring cultural touchstone, even when the set's reality was far from ideal. As the show grew in popularity, one character's unexpected rise to fame would redefine what it meant to be a television icon. Fonzie's rise to fame. When Happy Days first aired, Arthur Fonzie Fonzarelli was intended to be a minor character, a small-time greaser meant to add some edge to the wholesome Cunningham family dynamic. Played by Henry Winkler, Fonzie quickly captivated audiences with his leather jacket, signature thumbs-up, and cool demeanor. What started as a side role soon overshadowed other characters. As viewers connected with Fonzie's blend of toughness and unexpected kindness, his magnetism was undeniable and reshaped the series in profound ways. Producers and writers recognized early on that Fonzie's popularity could no longer be contained. They expanded his screen time and developed new storylines centered around him, transforming him from a rebellious outsider to a core member of the fictional Milwaukee community. Fonzie's backstory grew richer, revealing a loyal friend with a strong moral code beneath the rough exterior. This complexity was rare for TV cool guys of that era, making him stand out as genuine rather than a cliché. Henry Winkler's portrayal was more than just charisma. It was his commitment to the role's nuance that won hearts. He brought a mixture of swagger and vulnerability, which allowed Fonzie to evolve from a mere stereotype into a beloved character with depth. This shift challenged the traditional archetype of the greaser, blending humor, emotion, and even moments of vulnerability. His famous catchphrases and mannerisms became part of popular culture almost overnight. Yet, Fonzie's ascendance was not without internal challenges. The character's growing dominance meant other actors sometimes felt sidelined, and the writers had to juggle maintaining focus on Richie Cunningham while giving Fonzie his due. This balancing act required careful scripting to keep the series cohesive. As much as Fonzie was the show's breakout star, the ensemble cast remained essential to its charm. Fonzie also became a cultural icon beyond the screen, influencing fashion and attitudes of the 1970s. The Fonzie effect reached classrooms, workplaces, and social circles, with many emulating his distinct style and cool confidence. This unprecedented fandom elevated Happy Days beyond just a television program. It became a social phenomenon embodying timeless ideals of respect, loyalty, and individualism. Fonzie's leather jacket and motorcycle came to symbolize American pop culture's fascination with rebellious charm. Interestingly, some of Fonzie's most memorable moments, like fixing televisions with a simple knock or jumping his motorcycle over obstacles, were conceived spontaneously or emphasized after audience reaction. These signature scenes deepened his mythos and gave the show moments that viewers eagerly anticipated. Such instances blurred the lines between character and legend, fueling speculation and affection long after the show's finale. Fonzie's continued success also opened doors for Henry Winkler, who became synonymous with the character and faced the complicated task of navigating his career. Closely tied to one role, Winkler embraced Fonzie's legacy while exploring new opportunities in acting, directing, and producing. His journey reflects the challenges many actors face when a single character defines their public identity. Ultimately, Fonzie's rise altered Happy Days' trajectory from a modest family sitcom to a landmark of television history. His influence transformed how TV characters were written and perceived, proving that sometimes unexpected stars can change the course of a show and pop culture itself. With such a beloved character reshaping the series, the stories behind the scripts carried their own surprises and tensions. Script, secrets, and storylines. Behind the cheerful facade of Happy Days, the writers constantly navigated a delicate line between nostalgic comfort and compelling storytelling. Many iconic storylines that fans fondly remember were the result of careful crafting, or sometimes last-minute rewrites, to keep the show fresh yet familiar. Writers had to respect the wholesome image while subtly introducing deeper themes or character complexities, often under intense network scrutiny. One of the most surprising secrets is how many scripts were rewritten on set. Producers often responded to audience reactions by altering character arcs or injecting new humor to capitalize on popularity spikes. For example, Fonzie's growing fame led to scripts adding more of his signature moments, sometimes at the expense of other characters' storylines. This created a dynamic tug-of-war as creative teams tried to satisfy both fan expectations and narrative cohesion. Some potential story arcs were scrapped entirely because they were deemed too controversial. For the time, the late 1970s and early 1980s, TV climate favored shows that avoided political or divisive topics, so writers steered clear of contentious issues. Despite that, occasional episodes tackled weightier themes like friendship struggles, grief, or economic hardship, but always through a gentle, optimistic lens. These attempts added emotional depth without alienating the core audience. The writing staff also experimented with introducing spin-offs, which influenced the main show's scripts. Characters like Joni and Chachi were given storylines that served dual purposes, supporting both Happy Days and spin-off series such as Joni Loves Chachi. This cross-pollination demanded careful coordination to maintain continuity across shows. It also demonstrated how the original series was a launchpad for expanding television universes long before it became a popular trend. Another lesser-known aspect is the collaborative nature of the scripts. Gary Marshall and his team fostered an environment where actors could contribute ideas or improvise, which often enriched scenes. This openness occasionally led to iconic moments being born from spontaneous interaction rather than strict scripts. Such collaboration contributed to the show's natural, warm tone. Network executives played a significant role in shaping content, sometimes leading to disagreements over which stories could air. Some scripts were delayed or rewritten to satisfy standards and practices departments, resulting in toned-down dialogue or sanitized themes. These restrictions meant the creative team had to be resourceful in delivering meaningful plots within tight boundaries. Moreover, writing for a long-running series meant avoiding repetitive or dull narratives. The team continuously sought ways to refresh the show, introducing new characters, evolving relationships, or exploring unexplored perspectives within the same nostalgic world. Balancing freshness with familiarity was a constant challenge, but essential for maintaining audience interest. Behind every laugh and heartfelt moment was a struggle to craft stories that honored the show's legacy while adapting to shifting cultural tastes. The script secrets reveal a complex, sometimes fragile process that was crucial in keeping Happy Days both comforting and relevant. These insights into the storytelling process highlight how even the best-loved shows carry hidden layers, paving the way for the often overlooked challenges of production. Production challenges. Behind the scenes of Happy Days, production was a complex and often demanding endeavor that tested the resilience of cast and crew alike. As the show surged in popularity, the pressure to deliver episodes on tight schedules intensified. Filming multiple episodes a week meant long hours and little room for error. The production team had to maintain a consistent tone and quality, while managing inevitable fatigue and occasional creative differences. Budget constraints were another persistent hurdle. Although Happy Days enjoyed strong ratings, the costs associated with period costumes, vintage cars, and carefully recreated 1950s sets were significant. Producers had to balance authenticity with financial pragmatism. Sometimes this meant cutting corners or repurposing sets and props, requiring ingenuity to keep the visual world believable without breaking the bank. Technical challenges also played a role in the series' everyday grind. Early filming relied heavily on multi-camera setups within studio sound stages, which, while efficient, limited some storytelling possibilities. Outdoor or location shoots were rare due to costs and logistical complications, which meant the show had to create a convincing suburban environment inside a relatively confined space. Lighting and sound crews worked meticulously to mask the artificiality and preserve audience immersion. At times, on-set accidents or technical glitches caused delays. For example, vintage cars used for scenes required frequent repairs or careful handling, as authentic models were often fragile and hard to maintain. Similarly, wardrobe malfunctions or set breakdowns occasionally forced reshoots or script adjustments. These moments tested the patience of everyone involved, but also fostered a collaborative spirit as obstacles were overcome together. The rapid evolution of television technology in the 1970s and 1980s also impacted the production. Transitioning from black and white to color broadcasting, accommodating new editing techniques, and adapting to evolving audience expectations kept the production team on its toes. Keeping up with industry standards while preserving the show's nostalgic feel required constant adaptation and problem-solving. Scheduling was another balancing act. Happy Days shared resources and talent with its spin-offs and sister productions, which required careful coordination to avoid conflicts. Actors sometimes had to juggle commitments across multiple shows, and writers had to weave storylines that aligned without contradiction. These demands increased complexity, but also broadened the show's cultural footprint. Despite these challenges, the production team's dedication ensured that the show remained consistent over its 11-season run. Their ability to innovate within limitations contributed to Happy Days' longevity and appeal. The behind-the-scenes efforts often went unrecognized, but were crucial in maintaining the world that millions came to love. In the end, the production challenges mirrored the era the show depicted: resourceful, hardworking, and committed to creating something meaningful despite obstacles. This foundational work set the stage for Happy Days to leave a lasting mark on television history. With the production wheels turning smoothly, Happy Days gave rise to spin-offs that expanded its universe and legacy. Spin-offs and legacy. Happy Days was not just a successful sitcom, it became the cornerstone of a television empire that spawned multiple spin-offs and left a lasting legacy across American popular culture. The show introduced characters and storylines that extended well beyond the original series, creating a vibrant fictional universe that audiences could follow across different programs. This expansion was both a strategic move by producers and a reflection of the audience's appetite for more stories within the Happy Days world, demonstrating the show's ability to capture viewers' imaginations and sustain their engagement over time. One of the earliest and most enduring spin-offs was Laverne and Shirley, which debuted in 1976. Centered on two quirky friends working in a Milwaukee brewery, the show captured the same nostalgic spirit that made Happy Days a hit, while adding its own comedic flavor and unique perspective on friendship and ambition. It quickly became a ratings powerhouse and ran for 8 seasons, proving that the world of Milwaukee in the late 1950s and early 1960s had more stories to tell. Laverne and Shirley helped solidify Gary Marshall's reputation for creating interconnected, relatable series that appealed to broad demographics, showing how spin-offs could thrive while retaining a connection to their parent show. Another unexpected success came with Mork and Mindy, which originated from a single guest appearance on Happy Days. Robin Williams's portrayal of Mork, a quirky alien sent to Earth, introduced science fiction comedy into the mix, blending absurd humor with surprisingly heartfelt moments. The character's popularity was immediate, leading to a 4-season series that reached audiences beyond traditional sitcom viewers. This spin-off highlighted Happy Days' cultural influence and demonstrated the flexibility of its storytelling framework, where even a minor guest appearance could spark an entirely new, enduring program. Joni Loves Chachi was another attempt to capitalize on Happy Days' popularity, focusing on 2 supporting characters who gained enough audience interest to headline their own musical-themed series. Despite the pedigree of its origins, the show lasted only 2 seasons, struggling to recapture the charm and chemistry of the main series. Nevertheless, it underscored the producer's ambition to explore new genres and character dynamics within the established universe, highlighting the risks inherent in extending a beloved show beyond its original formula. These spin-offs reflected both the opportunities and challenges of expanding a beloved franchise. While some flourished, others faltered, revealing how difficult it is to replicate the magic outside the original context. Their varied reception also mirrored shifts in audience tastes and the evolving television landscape of the late 1970s and early 1980s, a period marked by experimentation and a growing appetite for diverse formats. Beyond spin-offs, Happy Days left an indelible mark on pop culture. Its catchphrases, iconic character archetypes, and nostalgic aesthetic influenced countless other programs. The series set a standard for family sitcoms, combining humor, warmth, and relatable life lessons in a way that resonated across generations. Its success demonstrated how television could create immersive fictional worlds in which audiences emotionally invested themselves for years, forging lasting attachments to characters and settings alike. The legacy of Happy Days extended far beyond the screen, including merchandise, cast reunions, and vibrant fan communities that remain active decades after the show ended. Its cultural imprint persists in references across media, from other television series to music, advertising, and broader Americana. The show remains a symbol of simple, optimistic storytelling, capturing the spirit of an era while leaving a lasting influence on the entertainment industry. Even as the original series faded from the airwaves, the spin-offs and ongoing cultural presence ensured that Happy Days remained a living part of television history. Together, these shows created a tapestry of stories, characters, and shared experiences that continue to resonate with audiences worldwide, demonstrating the remarkable staying power of a well-crafted fictional universe and the enduring appeal of a television phenomenon that captured hearts and imaginations alike. This far-reaching influence and expansion deepen our understanding of the show's place in entertainment history and highlight the enduring appeal of its stories and characters. Unreleased footage and lost episodes. Happy Days, despite its polished reputation as a quintessentially wholesome sitcom, harbors a fascinating trove of unreleased footage and lost episodes that many fans have never seen. Over its lengthy, decade-long run, countless scenes were filmed but never made it to air, often due to time constraints, story revisions, or network concerns. These hidden gems offer a rare glimpse into what might have been, revealing layers of character development, storytelling choices, and thematic depth that the original broadcasts could only hint at. For those devoted to the series, this behind-the-scenes material provides a unique window into the creative process and the intricate workings of 1970s television production. One particularly intriguing aspect involves early versions of episodes where character interactions were more risque or lightly touched on controversial subjects, moments later trimmed or softened for broadcast. In these scenes, relationships among characters sometimes carried more tension, emotional nuance, or subtle humor that didn't survive network review. Alternate endings were occasionally filmed, showing deeper character arcs or moral ambiguities that would have complicated the otherwise upbeat, family-friendly narrative. Such edits were standard practice at the time, reflecting the producer's careful effort to maintain Happy Days' reputation for approachable, safe entertainment. For fans lucky enough to glimpse this material via special collections, streaming extras, or archival releases, the experience adds a new dimension to well-known storylines, revealing how much the final cuts shaped the show's enduring charm. Beyond deleted scenes, rumors persist of entire episodes that were scripted but never filmed or aired. Some of these lost episodes reportedly explored darker or more dramatic storylines, delving into character backstories that might have altered audience perception of familiar faces. While no comprehensive archive exists for these unproduced episodes, dedicated fan communities and industry insiders have reconstructed potential content through leaked scripts, interviews, and production notes. Imagining these episodes allows enthusiasts to consider alternate narrative paths the series might have taken, from intensified conflicts to more complex explorations of family, friendship, and social issues. Recovered footage has occasionally surfaced in special DVD releases or private collections, adding layers of nostalgia for those who grew up with the series' clips of Henry Winkler. Improvising lines offer insight into his creative genius, showing moments cut for pacing, yet revealing the charm that made Fonzie an iconic television figure. Other recovered material includes bloopers, behind-the-scenes moments, and cast interactions that underscore the collaborative spirit on set, despite occasional tensions. These glimpses serve as reminders that the success of Happy Days was as much a product of the relationships and improvisation among cast and crew as it was of scripted content. Lost footage also includes segments focused on secondary characters or subplots fans might never have imagined. Rare scenes featuring minor roles illuminate the meticulous world-building that permeated the series. hinting at social norms and attitudes of the 1970s that contrast sharply with contemporary sensibilities. Watching these moments now can feel both nostalgic and historically revealing, offering insights into how sitcoms reflected, and sometimes subtly challenged, the cultural landscape of their time. Archival and preservation challenges compounded the issue of lost content. Early television often prioritized cost efficiency over historical record-keeping, with tapes reused or discarded, resulting in the permanent loss of some filmed material. This fate was common for shows of the era, making surviving footage all the more precious. Researchers, archivists, and fan communities have increasingly recognized the importance of preserving these artifacts, not only for nostalgia, but as an essential record of television history. In recent years, streaming platforms, anniversary celebrations, and collector interest have renewed focus on unearthing everything Happy Days originally produced, including unseen or partially lost content. The discovery and sharing of these materials spark fresh appreciation and conversation among longtime fans and new viewers alike. They illustrate that even decades after its original run, the show retains a dynamic cultural presence, in part due to the hidden stories that have begun to emerge. Ultimately, the unreleased footage and lost episodes of Happy Days remind us that a television series' legacy extends far beyond what airs. They reveal a complex production history shaped by shifting cultural norms, creative experimentation, and network oversight. By exploring these hidden layers, fans gain a richer understanding of the show's enduring appeal and the artistry behind its creation. Whether through forgotten scenes, alternate takes, or unaired episodes, Happy Days continues to surprise, charm, and fascinate. Offering far more than originally met the eye, Happy Days might seem like a simple sitcom, but beneath the surface lies a world of surprises, struggles, and secrets. From casting twists to lost footage, these revelations show just how complex the making of this beloved show truly was. If you enjoyed uncovering these hidden stories, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more fascinating TV insights. Thanks for watching.